everything is built around the future documentary series to promote the Sussexes.
But to that extent, there are a few people who were sympathetic to her, and obviously I spoke to her father, who loves her.
She was good looking, she was good company, she could talk the way he wanted to talk about his subject.
What if I told you that everything we thought we knew about Meghan Markle was nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion? Not just a struggling actress turned royal rebel fairy tale, but a jaw-dropping performance straight out of Hollywood's darkest playbook. Tom Bower has come forward with revelations so scandalous they make Hollywood affairs look like children's bedtime stories. We're talking billionaires' yachts, shameless Diana cosplay, and contradictions so tangled they turned a once-respected prince into little more than a hollow puppet.
After months of hype and curated PR moves, Meghan Markle's so-called season 2 of Love,
that magical fairy tale we were sold, it was nothing but a scripted act. The victimhood narrative, purely manufactured and marketed like a Netflix series. And the woman behind it, oh, she's now on the brink of being completely exposed. What you're about to hear will flip the entire Meghan Markle story upside down. Even Hollywood insiders are whispering about these secrets. By the end of this, you'll understand why Meghan's empire is crumbling faster than she can spin her next sob story. Because from the very beginning, Meghan's so-called admiration for Princess Diana wasn't admiration at all.
Stars, isn't it interesting that there's an attempt to portray Kate Middleton?
It was cold, calculated strategy. While the world mourned Diana's compassion and tragedy, Meghan saw her as a template, a character to copy, pose by pose, hand gesture by hand gesture. Tom Bower describes her as a woman who didn't just admire Diana, but studied her like a script, practicing angles and teardrops for the ultimate audition, playing the next people's princess. But here's the truth Meghan couldn't fake. You can't rehearse authenticity. Every one of her attempts reeked of desperation.
Breaking today, another royal death. The royal family announcing in the past few hours that
every tilted head, every watery-eyed photo op looked like a stage performance gone wrong. Instead of earning sympathy, Meghan got eye rolls. And Harry, instead of protecting his mother's sacred legacy, he handed it over like a prop in his wife's theater production. Imagine that. Diana's humanity reduced to Meghan's costume cosplay. The public didn't buy it. They smelled the performance. They knew it wasn't real compassion. It was marketing. Meghan thought she could crown herself the new Diana.
and I have been among the first to reveal lots of the strains in this marriage.
But instead of becoming Diana 2.0, she ended up as a cheap knockoff, a discount Diana. The illusion was so see-through that it destroyed the very mystique she craved. And Harry, blinded by infatuation, played along, turning Diana's memory into nothing more than a sideshow in their endless circus of victimhood. What was once sacred became a PR prop, and once that line was crossed, there was no way back. But wait, if Meghan's Diana cosplay wasn't already humiliating, the whispers about her so-called yacht girl past? Oh, they're downright explosive.
Today, Prince Harry's rumored peace summit with King Charles.
Tom Bower doesn't tiptoe around it. He blasts open the rumors Meghan would give anything to erase. Picture this: Meghan at glittering yacht parties, mingling with billionaires, Hollywood elites, and shadowy power brokers. Not as a rising actress, not as some bright young talent, but as a woman who knew the real currency in those circles wasn't acting ability. It was charm, proximity, strategy, and she played that game to perfection.
it started with a whisper, like most royal controversies do. But this one isn't just palace gossip or a disgruntled staff.
These weren't glamorous charity galas or industry networking mixers. No, these were exclusive yacht parties, floating palaces where billionaires and moguls sought transactional companionship, where women weren't seen as equals but as accessories. And guess who knew exactly how to work those rooms? Meghan. According to Bower's sources, she understood the game far too well.
The royal world is in shock as Angela Levin, the famed royal biographer, drops a bombshell that
she didn't climb the Hollywood ladder, she rode the waves. Those yachts became her stages long before royal palaces did. The whole rags to riches actress narrative, it crumbles the moment you follow the whispers, photos, and buried anecdotes. Because the woman who later preached about feminism and empowerment had already spent years in circles where women were treated as playthings for billionaire entertainment. And what makes it worse? The timing.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on...
While Meghan was supposedly grinding at auditions in Hollywood, insiders suggest she was actually jet-setting to private islands, Monaco, and the French Riviera. Not chasing casting directors, but courting ultra-rich men who could open doors that no audition ever would. And Harry? He knows these rumors are out there, yet he stands beside her pretending her past is a fairy tale, when in reality, it looks more like a casting couch scandal on water.
So let me get this straight. Netflix Yes, the same Netflix that's bleeding subscribers and can't stop throwing money at dumpster fires.
And here's the dagger. Meghan's so-called Hollywood rise wasn't about auditions, wasn't about scripts. It was about access, power, attaching herself to influential men until one day she hooked the ultimate prize, a prince too naive to realize he wasn't the happy ending. He was the next stepping stone. Tom Bauer doesn't mince words. Meghan didn't stumble into royalty. She surfed her way there.
Emily Chang is out here doing what the critics never expected, answering questions directly, on camera.
But even that was just the beginning of a messy web of contradictions. Because if Meghan's past seemed murky, her present is nothing short of chaotic. She can't even keep her own life story straight. One day she claims she barely knew who Harry was before meeting him. The next, she admits she studied his every move.
Charles is in a tight spot, and not the kind that even a monarch can wiggle out of. Behind the palace walls, things aren't just him.
One interview paints her as the wide-eyed outsider. The next brags about how she knew exactly what she was getting into. Which is it? You can't be the naive victim and the master manipulator at the same time. Yet Meghan keeps playing both roles. And Harry? He just nods along, looking more like her puppet than her partner. And it's not just the public catching on. The palace noticed, Hollywood producers noticed, and now the whole world is seeing her stories crumble under their own contradictions. Instead of looking like a strong woman fighting odds, she looks like a liar who can't even keep her script consistent. And poor Harry, once admired for his blunt honesty, now comes off as the co-star in a soap opera where truth doesn't matter, only optics do. Bauer calls it what it is, a strategy. But such a clumsy strategy that every time Meghan opens her mouth, her credibility sinks further. And once credibility is gone, the fall accelerates. Meghan thought Hollywood would embrace her forever, but she forgot the golden rule of that world. It spits out pretenders without hesitation. And here's the cold truth. It wasn't Netflix or Spotify that failed Meghan and Harry. No, it was Meghan and Harry who turned golden opportunities into cringe-worthy disasters. Instead of compelling storytelling, we got whining, contradictions, and empty theatrics. Hollywood thrives on reinvention, but Meghan's endless spin made her look like a fraud. And Harry, tagging along like a sidekick, only amplified the embarrassment. The same celebrities who once smiled beside her now ghost her entirely. Because in Hollywood, reputation is everything. And Meghan's value plummeted faster than streaming ratings. She packaged herself as a feminist icon, a changemaker, but when the cameras dimmed, what emerged wasn't a leader. It was a performer chasing sympathy. Hollywood has a keen nose for desperation, and Meghan reeks of it. Every failed deal, every awkward public appearance proves her star power was an illusion. And then came the viral clip. The one moment where Prince Harry's expression changes in a split second, revealing everything. That 1 second exposed the cracks not even their PR army could patch. Bauer doesn't soften the blow. He declares Meghan toxic, so toxic that no power player dares to touch her brand. And the ugliest revelation? It isn't just Meghan's past or her collapsing career. It's the way she tightened her grip on Harry, reshaping their marriage into a stage-managed performance. From day one, Meghan positioned herself not as Harry's partner, but as his handler. She fed him lines, orchestrated interviews, and remolded him from a respected soldier into her echo chamber. What was once love now looked more like control in disguise. Carefully staged photos, dramatic hand-holding poses, every look-at-us moment was designed to sell an illusion. Remember the umbrella stunt in Auckland? Meghan commanding others to shield her while leaving the kids to perform in the rain? That wasn't kindness. It was a power play. Every Diana moment, every faux romantic pose was just another way to keep Meghan in control. And Harry? He surrendered willingly. His family, his country, his dignity, all handed over for a narrative no one believes anymore. The tragedy is brutal. The same Harry once admired for courage and loyalty now looks like a hollow shell, a broken man drifting in Meghan's PR storm. He's not her equal, not her partner, he's her prop. And then comes the most shameless card Meghan ever played, her own children, especially little Lilibet. Bauer claims Meghan timed appearances and stories around her daughter like a PR strategy, not maternal instinct, using Lilibet as a shield whenever her reputation took a dive. Think about that. The most cynical move imaginable, draping herself in motherhood when convenient, then retreating into silence when accountability came knocking. And Harry? Instead of shielding his daughter, he let her become a pawn in Meghan's endless chess game for attention. Every carefully timed photo release, every name controversy with the Queen, every convenient story drop reeked of calculation. Meghan doesn't wield authenticity. She weaponizes innocence. And that's a stain not even Hollywood's best spin doctors can whitewash. The world sees it. The constant Diana cosplay, the manufactured victimhood, and now, the exploitation of her own child as a publicity prop. This isn't strength, it's desperation. Meghan is exposed as someone willing to gamble with anything, even her daughter's privacy, to keep her name in the headlines. By the time Meghan and Harry's empire began crumbling, the only people shocked were Meghan and Harry themselves. Everyone else saw it coming. Bauer's revelations cut deep, showing how their brand of royal rebels has disintegrated into hypocrisy, contradictions, and staged sob stories. What began as global fascination has soured into public fatigue. People aren't leaning in anymore. They're rolling their eyes. The Oprah interview, once hyped as their defining moment, is now remembered as a masterclass in exaggeration. Their Netflix docuseries, instead of cementing their cultural impact, it exposed them as narcissists clinging to victimhood. And let's not forget Meghan's first marriage, sold to the public as a sweet love story, but riddled with the same patterns of opportunism. Every move Meghan makes screams calculation. Every project reeks of opportunism. And Harry? He looks less like her husband and more like her bodyguard, shielding her from criticism while losing himself completely. Mix fake empowerment speeches with endless pity parties, and what do you get? Not admiration, backlash. Hollywood doesn't see Meghan as aspirational anymore. She's radioactive, a career killer. And Harry? She's dragging him down with her. Deals don't implode by accident. Reputations don't collapse overnight. What we're witnessing is the inevitable collision between arrogance and reality. Meghan thought she could outsmart the palace, outshine Hollywood, and outmaneuver the press. Instead, she's left stripped bare, her brand shredded, her credibility gone, her influence reduced to gossip fodder. When you peel back the glitz, the fake tears, the endless spin, what's left? Not royal rebels, not humanitarian icons, but two fallen stars clinging to fading relevance while the world moves on. Tom Bauer doesn't hold back. He brands Meghan not as the modern Diana she desperately wanted to become, but as a cautionary tale of ambition devouring itself. And Harry, the once beloved people's prince, reduced to a supporting role in someone else's performance. The fairy tale has collapsed, and what's left behind is a chilling lesson. When manipulation replaces authenticity, when lies outpace truth, even the most privileged lives can implode. Bauer's final blow is merciless. Meghan didn't just marry Harry. She hollowed him out, rewrote his identity, and repackaged him as her accessory. And Harry isn't leading this story. He's trapped in it. The crown they thought they could claim, it was never theirs. The empire they tried to build already crumbled. And the world once captivated has moved on. What remains is a cautionary headline about power, manipulation, and the cost of playing victim too many times. Meghan Markle isn't the Diana she dreamed of becoming. She's the warning of what happens when ambition eats itself alive. And Harry, no longer the people's prince, but a prop in someone else's never-ending performance.